Alright, hello everybody, we're in section 1.6 and we're going to solve some absolute value equations, which I think is what I have set up here. I see absolute value and I've got equal sign and I have stuff on both sides. Okay, to solve an equation with an absolute value, step number one is isolate the absolute value. So okay, I want this completely by itself on one side, so I'm going to move the 2 over, minus 2 both sides. So now I have absolute value x minus 3 is equal to 5. Okay, then step number 2. You have to think, okay, is this possible? Can absolute value of something be equal to 5? The answer is yes. Remember, absolute value can equal 0 or a positive, but absolute value can never equal something negative. So if this side over here was negative, the answer would be no solution at this step. But since this is 5 and absolute value can equal 5, now we have to break it up into to find our solutions. So to find our first solution, we drop the absolute value and solve like normal. So I have x minus 3 equals 5. Drop the absolute value and I solve this linear equation. And we get our first answer of 8. Okay, then remember, with absolute value you have to do like two things. So the next thing you do is we drop the absolute value, we make the other side negative, and we solve again. So I'm starting it back from where it's isolated. So I've got x, drop the absolute value, make the other side negative, and we solve again. It's the same steps, so plus 3 and plus 3. And here we get our second solution of minus 2. So our answers for this problem are x equals 8 from before, and x equals minus 2. The thing to remember is with absolute value, you usually end up doing two things. So let's check these. So remember, we're going to go back into the original. The original problem was absolute value of x minus 3 plus 2 equals 7. So let's see, if I plug in an 8, absolute value of 8 minus 3 plus 2, wondering if this is going to equal 7. Well, this is absolute value of 5 plus 2. Oops. Let's see if we hear that real fast. Wondering if that's going to equal 7. And sure enough, absolute value of 5 and 5 plus 2 is 7, and it works. Okay, let's check the other answer. Okay, so I'm going to do absolute value of minus 2 minus 3 plus 2. Wondering if that's going to be 7. This is absolute value of minus 5 plus 2. 7. Absolute value of 5 is 5. Absolute value of minus 5 is 5. Plus 2 is 7. It works. Both answers work out. Remember, you always have to isolate it first. Alright, let's take a look at another one. Now, let's give this a shot. So I have an absolute value and I have an equation. So I isolate first. I move the 5 over. So I have absolute value of 2x minus 3. Oops. Should not be a parenthesis. There we go. Sorry about that. Is 5. Okay, I've isolated. Now I think, is this possible? Is this possible? Yes, it can equal positive 5. My first answer. Drop the absolute value and solve like normal. In my second one, I'm going to drop the absolute value and make the other side negative. And then it's the exact same steps. So plus 3, plus 3, plus 3, plus 3. 2x is 8. 2x is minus 2. Divide by 2. I get a solution of 4. And minus 1. And we've got our two answers. Quick check 4. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 minus 3 is 5. Absolute value of 5 is 5. And 5 plus 5 is 10. That guy works. Minus 1. 2 times minus 1 is minus 2. Minus 2 minus 3 is minus 5. Absolute value of minus 5 is 5. And 5 plus 5 is 10. They both work out. Okay, let's take a look at one more example. Okay, so let's see, I have another absolute value equation. So I'm going to isolate the absolute value. I'm going to move the 2 over. Now I have absolute value of 3x minus 15 is minus 4. Remember, here we need to think. Anytime this side is negative, can absolute value equal something negative? No, because absolute value at its smallest is 0, and then everything else is positive. So this would be no solution. So watch out for that. When this side is negative, you've got to think, And here, can it equal something negative? No. Alright, that's solving absolute value equations. Next video is solving absolute value with inequalities.